And time now for a look through the international headlines for falling this Tuesday afternoon. For that, we turn to our Eunice Kim standing by at the NewsCenter.
Eunice, new protests are ongoing in the U.S. town of Ferguson at this hour as the curfew we saw earlier this week was replaced by the presence now of the National Guard.
That's right, Mark. It's the highest card Missouri State Governor Jay Nixon has activated since declaring a state of emergency this past weekend in that region. And to give you some perspective, the last time the Guard was deployed for a civil unrest was back in 1992 for the Los Angeles riots. Our Sohn Jung-in recaps for us the events leading up to tonight's demonstrations in Ferguson.
As angry, violent protests continued in the St. Louis suburb of Ferguson, Missouri Governor Jay Nixon ordered the state's National Guard troops to be deployed to try to restore calm and quell days of rioting spurred by the fatal shooting of unarmed black teenager Michael Brown by a white police officer. With the National Guard patrolling the streets, Nixon lifted the curfew of the past 2 nights in the town, where protesters are demanding that Officer Darren Wilson be held accountable for shooting Brown. U.S. President Barack Obama addressed the situation and urged the governor to ensure troops were involved in a limited and appropriate way.
There's no excuse for excessive force by police or any action that denies people the right to protest peacefully. Let me call once again for us to seek some understanding rather than simply holler at each other. Let's seek to heal rather than to wound each other.
Obama also said Attorney General Eric Holder would travel to Ferguson to meet with Department of Justice officials working the case to call for an end to unrest in the town. This as preliminary results from a private autopsy commissioned by Brown's family found that the teen was shot at least 6 times, including twice in the head. The results apparently contradict testimonies by eyewitnesses that Brown was shot in the back, as all the bullet wounds were to the front of the body. The prosecutor's office in St. Louis County, which has jurisdiction in the case, said a grand jury could begin hearing evidence against Wilson as soon as Wednesday to determine if he will be charged with the shooting. Sohn Jung-in, Arirang News.